Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems. I was recently out of town for a couple of days to go see Grant Williams and the Celtics. And when you're out of town, nothing feels better than knowing that Safety Systems security sign sits right in your front yard and right behind your house. It's protection you can trust. It's why so many homes in East Tennessee turn to Safety Systems. It's why so many businesses in East Tennessee turn to Safety Systems. You should too. Call VFL JJ Surlis and his team this week. Ask them about their security systems. I guarantee you're going to get a better deal than you will from any of these national guys that wear you out with mailers in the mailbox. Safety Systems. Okay, I mentioned Grant Williams and the Celtics because this segment is basketball related. The Vols added another 5-star, as I'm sure you know this week. 6'8" wing Julian Phillips picked Tennessee over Auburn, Florida State, and USC. 24/7 Sport ranks him as the 12th best player in the class, number 4 best small forward. His signature means that UT still has 3 more slots to fill, but it has bumped Tennessee from number 14 in the CBS Sports Gary Parrish preseason rankings to number 10. So you had 5 guys. You had 1 go to the pros. You had a bunch of guys transfer out. You've added a couple of guys here, and all of a sudden you are back in the top 10 as a projection. Josh, do you feel that strongly about this team, considering the way they finished last year? They were on such a heater, flamed out in the tournament, but they were on such a roll, built to win. You had a all-everything point guard. Now it's a different roster. They're saying top 10. Are you buying that?
It's maybe the high end of the range, but it's in the range that I would consider for Tennessee because you do have to replace Chandler, which is a big replacement, no doubt. But Key coming in, Tyreek Key, is somebody who's played a lot of basketball. That helps. And Zakai Ziegler coming back, assuming he's better, I bet that he will be. That helps. And now you replace Chandler, at least in the lineup, with another 5-star from a talent standpoint in Julian Phillips. So I would have Tennessee in the 10 to 15 range. The core leadership, assuming they are back, because that's the expectation, Josiah Jordan-James, Santiago Vescovi, and the player development you expect with Rick Barnes' program, I think putting Tennessee at number 10 is justifiable for sure.
Okay. Vince, your thoughts?
I think it's a little bit high. I mean, is it way out of whack? No, I would say in the 15-ish range, 15 to 17, some of that. But also, we still have to see how this plays out with everybody else's roster too. That's going to impact it because you could slide up if people.
Right. Right now, you're only behind in CBS Sports top 10. You're only behind Arkansas and Kentucky, who are number 3 and 4 in the country. You're ahead of everybody else in the SEC, according to the rankings. But as you say, you've still got 3 more slots to fill. Everybody else has slots to fill. You got guys that could leave, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have guys that could leave at this point, I don't guess. Well, I guess some guys could stay in the NBA draft portal that you might not expect. But for the most part, you still have to build your roster and complete it.
Right.
Bob and Chuck, I'm going to ask you this next part of the question. Take a look here at the screen. Again, I mentioned Grant Williams. You see him at the bottom down there. His Celtics will be playing this afternoon right here on ABC. Kennedy Chandler is going to wind up somewhere. Probably going to go in a lottery position, but he'll be drafted this summer. Once he's drafted, he will be one of 8, assuming everybody sticks. You're going to have 8 Tennessee players on NBA rosters. I don't think Tennessee's ever had 8 guys in the league at once. I think this is your high water mark for, one, the number of people you are churning into the pros, that you are not only bringing in, but now you can say, hey, I'll get you to the NBA. And on that front, this is the 6th 5-star that Rick Barnes has signed, Julian Phillips is. So, Chuck, Bob, Tennessee has never, you can say tournament, maybe they were higher with Bruce Pearl at the Elite 8, but that was a year that wasn't that good. They had a great run at the end. I don't think Tennessee, for the program, has never been at the level where you're just, every year you get a 5-star and every year you're churning guys into the NBA. Your talent is better than it has ever been. Do you think swimming those waters increases your chances of eventually having that breakthrough to the Final Four, or are those two different things?
No, I think it has to, because as long as you're up there talent-wise and you're competing for that stuff, you've got a chance. I mean, I would rather have the talent every year and fall short than once every 5 years, man, you get on a run at the end and maybe you make it. So, yeah, I think it does increase your odds of getting there just because you're always in the mix.
You buying that, Chuck?
No. And I'll tell you why I'm a little skeptical, because you hadn't been past the Elite 8. I mean, I know you've got more talent, but even your recent runs, you can't. It seems like you struggle to get past the Sweet 16.
Get to the Sweet 16.
You get to
Yeah.
the Sweet 16. So the question was to the Final Four.
Yeah.
I think it's still a little bit shy of that until you see a little bit more of a postseason run. And part of that is Rick Barnes, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's the history there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's the best I think we've ever seen. You do the Vols in the NFL, right? And the Vols in the NBA, the most I can remember is like 4 to 6.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
And that was for a short period of time.
Exactly.
You've got guys here that are more than likely going to
And,
stick for a while.
And Chuck, I mean, that's absolutely right what you say. But I'm just betting on the fact that as long as you're there, as
Right.
long as you're in that top 10, 15 range, then your odds go up.
Well, it's the Georgia football factor. You know, Kirby Smart, as long as you
Yeah.
keep recruiting 5 stars and 5 stars and 5 stars, you keep hitting your head on the ceiling, but eventually last year he finally broke through.
And it
Yeah.
only
Phillip
takes
Fulmer,
once.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
It only
Yeah.
takes once to break through. And then that conversation goes away, and now you can recruit even more.
All right, very good. When we come back, the SEC is planning here in a couple of weeks to discuss scheduling, realignment, with Texas and Oklahoma coming in a couple of years, if not sooner. They want to figure out what they're going to do. It sounds like they're going to 9 games. Sounds like that's a done deal. Sounds like they have a couple of different plans they're going to look at. We're going to throw out 3 plans and let you know. We're going to get these guys' take on which is better. You can sit there and play along at home. Much more football from here on out on the Sports Source. Come on back.